Hello and welcome to Nobody because nobody logged on. But I thought I would record the Zoom meeting so that maybe somebody would watch it after. So this week, inside of your class, here we go. Of course, when you log in, you'll get to your homepage. I made a couple more announcements here. And actually, I need to make sure I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So I'd like everyone to kind of look at some of these announcements. Getting ready for your Google internship opportunity. This is a really awesome opportunity that Google is offering to first and second year computer science students. And if you click on that link, it'll take you to one of my web pages where you'll see some descriptions of some awesome opportunities for you guys. And so this one's especially made for first and second year students studying computer science. So that means you. So go ahead and click on the Engineering Practicum Program link, and it'll take you to their webpage, which actually it will take you here, and it'll show all of the internships that you could apply for. There's a lot of them. And these are for last year, so they're for this previous summer, but they'll be posting the new ones soon. So go ahead and click on it and you can read about this position and what's required and some of your responsibilities if you were to get this position and some important essay questions. Of course, they might change the essay questions for this coming year, but I'm sure they'll be similar enough. And if you start now writing your answers to these, your answers will be more polished than if you try to rush them after Google posts the new internship. So work on that. The other announcement in here was our CS Club meetings from 11:50 to 12:50. And I did not put the day. And the day is Wednesdays. And to learn more about the club, go ahead and follow that link to our club's webpage, where you can find more information about the club. All right. So you are supposed to have looked at the lecture slides and watched the lecture video. And then your assignments this week were your programming problem chapter 2, and of course my programming lab. So I'm hoping that everybody did this. I see some of you have turned it in. I'll be grading this weekend. Make sure that you're using the examples. And so this example code was given to you so that you could understand and start playing around with code. Remember, to learn programming, it takes practice. So practice with code that I give you. Remember that you can download this code. Probably a better idea than copying and pasting it. And then you can open it inside of a text editor. Or you can use your IDE like Eclipse. And the easiest way that I have found to get a program inside of Eclipse is to go ahead and open the folder where it downloaded. And then you're dragging that file to your source folder. And usually it likes to work. Oh, I already have a folder file in there named that. So let's try this project. You can see that I do this often. All right, so then you ask to copy them, and you can now double click and open the file. You can take a look at it. Remember, if you have a default package, then you won't need this package statement at the top of your code. Remember that you always need to put your name at the top and the date. And if I comment back you didn't do that, you need to do that. It's good programming practice to write comments. All right, and then looking at this code, you should have seen that we declared some variables of type integer. And then we declare our input object of type scanner. And then we do a simple little output. We get some input from the user, the keyboard. And then we do the summation, the difference, the product, and the quotient. And the only one that looks sort of odd probably to you is why do we have 1.0 rather than just a 1 or rather than just nothing? And so I was hoping that you would experiment with this. And so when you run this code, I want you to notice something that happens. When you enter in two numbers that are divisible, the answer seems fine and everything seems correct. So no errors. But when you run the code with two numbers that are not divisible, you get the wrong answer. And this has to do with the way that we were doing our math inside of our program. An integer divided by an integer gives you back an integer. Even if you're storing it inside of a double, it's still converting that integer into a double. And because it's an integer, it loses its decimal place. So to properly fix this problem, you have to make number 1 into a double before he's divided by number 2. And so a double divided by an integer gives you back a double with a decimal place, and then stores that double in quotient. And this will correct that integer math or logic error. Another way that you can make number 1 into a double would be to typecast number 1 into a double. Note that multiplying it by 1.0 is another way that we can convert number 1 into a double, because anything times a double returns a double. Which way is better? I'm not really sure, but I think that way looks cooler. So then when you're dividing by numbers that are not divisible, it'll give you that remainder. That's probably one of the more important things when doing your calculations, is of course your order of operations, and always make sure you're not doing int math. All right, back to your homework. And I'm assuming since no one's logged on, everybody got their homework done. So actually, I am going to go over here and look and see who got their homework done. And, all right, let's look at Ashley's. Looks like Ashley and just a couple of people have it done, which is sort of worrisome that no one is logged on. Okay, so to better see this, let's open it in Eclipse and go ahead and download that. And she turned it in as a PDF. What the heck? Oh, I think I hit the wrong button. Yeah, we don't want a PDF. Okay. Remember to turn in your programs as their .java files. Okay, here we go. Excellent job. She turned in her .java file. Let's look at her code. So good job, Ashley, for writing your comments that are required for this class. Good job on capitalizing your class name and naming your class a good name. Great job at comments and declaring your integers correctly with proper variable names. And excellent work on getting your input. Remember that here is where you're going to have your math errors. So I can see right away that she did check for order of operations, so good job. But she is doing integer math. An integer plus an integer plus an integer is an integer. Divided by an integer is sadly an integer. So this is going to give you the wrong answer. And we can see that when we don't enter in numbers that are going to divide evenly by 3. So let's give some numbers that do not divide by 3. And the average, it says, is 46, and that is not correct. Integer math. So what we need to do is make this guy into a double before we and this also brings up an error here because a double type divided by an integer is a double, and we can't store a double inside of an integer. So average needs to be a double, which was part of the problem as well. So 23, 37, 80. Let's try that again. 23, 37, 80. And now we get the right answer. So this is a common mistake, no big deal, but make sure that in the future we check for our int math. Make at least one of our integers into a double before we do our division. Good job on your indentation and the organization of your program, and very well written. All right. The other assignment you guys were supposed to do is my programming lab. And here is my programming lab. You were supposed to do these problems here. So I'm assuming since nobody logged on, everybody got these done. So let's go take a look. And we'll show the roster and see who has done anything. And remember, if you do more than what's required, then you get more points. So good job, Gustavo, and Hannah, and Jacob. A lot of extra credit. This one might be difficult, so okay. All right. And show everybody. See that some people have not got onto my programming lab. So make sure you're in my programming lab and that you added our class number. And remember, our class number can always be found in the page called My Programming Lab, so that I can see your work in My Programming Lab. So remember, you do get points for this class. So here's our class number. And it looks like everybody who has logged on is doing okay. Let's do 60053 together. Looks like a lot of people stopped right there. Or 60143. 143 and 053. 143. I don't remember which ones I assigned you. 2.5. All right, let's look at 2.4, 2.5, and 2.6. All right, let's do a random problem here. An identifier that cannot be used as a variable name is a keyword. Reserved word. Reserved word. Correct. All right. We're going to assume 2.4 is good. We have 2.5. Actually, let's do one of the programming problems. 20513. Declare a variable temperature and initialize it to 98.6. I remember a lot of these programming problems are not very difficult. And you only have to write in one line. Remember that I knew it was a double because it has a decimal place. When you hit submit, you get a green check mark. All right, let's do another one. 20980. Write a single statement that will print the message first is followed by the value first. I remember this one. So this programming problem, remember the white space is a character, and it's very important that you get the white space correct. Then it's followed by the value first, and then a space. There's your space. Followed by second equals, followed by the value of second. And print everything on one line. The print ln will do that. Assume that first and second's already been declared. All right, so that should just about do that one. Oh, we didn't like it. Oh, remember, it does tell you and try to help you with your syntax errors. We forgot to close our parenthesis. All right, awesome. Okay, cool. So remember that if you do more than what's assigned, then you get extra credit. So good job for those of you who have done that. And I think since nobody is online, I'm going to end it here. Remember that you can email me, and you can also post to discussion. And here it is, questions about the class. And it is published. So if you have questions, make sure you post them here. And remember that you can also reply to other students. So I guess that will end that. You can always come during my office hours. And what else do I want to say? I think that is good. Okay.